Well, congratulations to Manny and Javier. Success of $100,000 Mr. Jess Perry. She was a qualifier for the $2 million futurity at Los Alamitos last December. Fastest qualifier for the Mr. Jess Perry, so she certainly justified her position there. Moving on now to the big one of the afternoon, the $957,000 Ruidoso Derby. Field of nine going to the post. Let's take a look at the qualifiers. It was an interesting trial day because the wind blew and the rain came and situations kind of changed, but a lot of good horses managed to come through. There's Apocalyptical Jess on top, of course, last year's All American winner. Danger, the third place finisher in the Texas Classic right there, and on down the line to the fastest qualifier is Flying Cowboy 123. Now, about the only reason that he was in the seventh position qualifying was the fact that the rain came just before his trial, and it was, to those of us who stood out in it all day, probably the worst conditions of the afternoon. So when we get a chance here, we're going to take a look at Flying Cowboy 123, the winner of the Texas Classic Futurity, in his trial for the All American Derby, and watch him overcome the rough conditions to qualify.
They're running. Flying Cowboy 123 fast. Excessive Gambler goes right with him. On the outside, also Denali Blizzard. Then it is Fantastic Feature JR. Inside of that, Shoshone Moon. But Flying Cowboy 123 is rocketing away and gonna blitz this field. Flying Cowboy 123 from Shoshone Moon. Starlight Eagle.
Well, I know the connections were very relieved to have qualified from there. Ricky Ramirez, of course, chose to ride this horse back in the finals, even over the All American Futurity winner, Apocalyptical Jess. And we'll take a closer look at some of these horses after the post parade. You'll see Robert Fox's selections go by, and pay attention to those because he studies it hard. After the post parade, we'll be back with more on the Ruidoso Derby.
Ruidoso Derby, purse of just over $950,000. Ninth offers exacta trifecta and superfecta wagering. It is the first half of the late daily double. Scratch for some moke on the water. And now here is the field of the Grade 1 Ruidoso Derby. Number 1, Linder 16, owned by Tom Mayer and Dick Tobin, trained by Jason Olmstead. Christian Esqueda rides. Number 2, Song of the Seabird, owned by Mario Cardona, trained by Jose Muela. Sergio Becerra Jr. in the irons. Number 3, Apocalyptical Jess, owned by Bill Robbins, trained by Trey Wood, Tanner Tedford the pilot. Number 5, Danger, owned by Frey, Downtime Enterprises LLC and Smith, trained by Dean Frey. Cody Jensen has the call. Number 6, CD Rowdy James, owned by Jeremy Amaya, trained by Jimmy Guerra. Paul Garcia handles the reins. Number 7, Flying Cowboy 123, owned by Paragon Farms LLC, trained by Trey Wood, Ricky Ramirez in the stirrups. Number 8, CD's Wine and Dine, owned by Jeremy Amaya, trained by Jimmy Guerra, Jesse Lavario the rider. Number 9, Pilot Points Moon, owned by Grant Farms LLC, trained by Wes Giles, Adrian Ramos up. And at number 10, Midday News, owned by Joyner, Smith, Southway, King, and Allen, trained by Michael Joyner. James Flores at the helm. That is the field of the Grade 1.
Apocalyptical Jess, the winner of the All-American Futurity last year, and the 7, Flying Cowboy 123, who we showed you there before the post parade. But let's take a look now at Apocalyptical Jess. You all remember him as the All-American Futurity winner. He took the winter off, came back at Remington Park, and was a smashing winner of the Remington Park Derby. Came up here with big expectations. Of course, we said trial day, there was a breeze blowing. Things changed on and off during the day, but here's what Apocalyptical Jess looked like in his trial race back 2 weeks ago.
Trial 9 for the Ruidoso Derby. They're running. Smooth break overall. Apocalyptical Jess fast from the far side. Trying to go with him is Lethal Lil. In the middle is CD Rowdy James. Then back at the rail, Long Gone Perry. Then extremely defining Apocalyptical Jess is beginning to edge away. Apocalyptical Jess gonna win. Then it's a close photo between CD.
Well, as you see, apocalyptical, that's always been hard for me to say. He has not done anything wrong. There's no reason to be discouraged about his performance. Ricky Ramirez told me last night that it was the toughest decision he's probably ever had to make in quarter horse racing, to get off of the All-American Futurity winner to get on stay on Flying Cowboy 123, who he also qualified, and we saw qualified against some pretty adverse conditions. One other trial race we want to show you before you make your final picks. This is a very good horse who won the All-American Juvenile last year. Then he went to Lone Star, ran third in the $1 million Texas Classic Futurity. Here is Danger in his trial alongside Midday News.
They're running. Clean break, had a little bit of bunching going on, and Sooner Cartel speed at the rail, and joining that one is Smoke on the Water. The outside Danger is rolling, and then Midday News. Danger grandstand side, Smoke on the Water, then Midday News dropped out Sooner Cartel. Smoke on the Water, and Danger outside, Smoke on the Water. Then back.
Well, Danger looked very good in his first start back since November. If he moves up any from that race, he should be very tough in here with Cody Jensen aboard. So the favoritism is among those three: Apocalyptical Jess, Flying Cowboy 123, and Danger. A lot of other good horses in the race. In fact, somebody told me last night, hey, this is supposed to be the easiest of the 3 derbies here at Ruidoso. Well, we got 2 champion 2-year-olds and a lot of other outstanding stakes winners, and a very interesting filly in here, Linder 16, who is, by the way, the only filly in the field for those of you looking for that angle. Moving toward the post here for the Ruidoso Derby. Good luck with your selections. We'll be back to recap it after it's run.
3 minutes. CD Rowdy James. Song of the Seabird next. Now bringing up Flying Cowboy 123 and stablemate Apocalyptical Jess. Here's CD's Wine and Dine. Final 3 Danger, Pilot Points Moon, and Midday News. Danger into the middle. Now there's 2 left. Pilot Points Moon and Midday News. Pilot Points Moon going on in. Now Midday News will complete the field. It'll be all set for the Grade 1 Ruidoso Derby. All set for the 9th. They're running in the Ruidoso Derby. Good break from all. Apocalyptical Jess with early speed along with Danger in between horses. Flying Cowboy 123 toward the outside. CD's Wine and Dine is running a big one. And then Extreme outside Midday News. Apocalyptical Jess. Danger pushes him every inch. Apocalyptical Jess holds on in the Ruidoso Derby from Danger. Photo shows the 3 Apocalyptical Jess first. Second the 5 Danger. 38 CD's Wine and Dine. 47 Flying Cowboy 123. 3587. Running time of the 400 yards 1975. Is next. Thoroughbreds going 5.5 furlongs, 10th offers, exacta trifecta and superfecta wagering. The post time's 5:05. Entering the infield winner's circle, winner of the Grade 1 Ruidoso Derby, number 3, Apocalyptical Jess. He's a 3-year-old sorrel gelding by Apolitical Jess out of Cassandra Crest. It's owned by Bill Robbins, trained by Trey Wood, the winning rider Tanner Tedford. Apocalyptical Jess was bred in Oklahoma by Danny Miller. And the trophy presentation for the Grade 1 Ruidoso Derby. Trophy being presented to the winning connections of the 3 Apocalyptical Jests by the General Manager of Ruidoso Downs Racetrack and Casino.
Apocalyptical Jess, owner Bill Robbins, jockey Tanner Thedford, at least 2/3 of the. Bill, exciting, nerve-wracking. How would you describe that race?
It's we were here for the All-American last year and fortunate enough to be in it and win it. And I will tell you, I was 10 times more nervous for this race. I think because we had expectations and his first time back here in the finals. And, oh, man, I was so nervous. And to watch him get away great, Tanner gave him a tremendous ride. And I knew we'd have to outrun Danger and Cowboy. And I think CDS got in there for third. But this is one of the best races I've ever witnessed, and be a part of it and actually win it. I think it solidifies a couple things. It solidifies this horse as truly a great horse, and this is the first time I felt comfortable saying that. And it solidifies the job that Trey has done, and certainly starting with his dad, with Blaine, and the whole barn. But I'm so proud of Trey and this group that this is a special occasion.
Not every good or great even 2-year-old comes back at 3. He came back and won the Remington Park Derby in grand fashion, now here. I think that speaks to what you just said.
It really does. And the way he's bred, we always thought he'd be a better 3-year-old than a 2-year-old. But then after he wins All-American, you go, how can you ever top that? And I don't know that you ever can. But he certainly, in terms of his performance and his professionalism, he's just stepped it up a notch. And I'd be remiss if I didn't also thank Ricky for riding the first 3 races. I know it was a tough decision for him, and he chose a great horse in Cowboy. And it was just one of the best races I've ever seen. And he did come back as his 3-year-old. And a lot of racing left, and we're going to do what's good, and right by the horse. But, boy, this is a tremendous thing.
Very good. Congratulations to Bill Robbins. Tanner Thedford, you were the pilot. You were the orchestrator of this ride. How'd things go for you?
Oh, perfect. I couldn't ask very more. You stood in the gates good and left there running. I just thank the good Lord and Trey and Blaine for the opportunity.
Now, Ricky told me it was a very tough decision. How often had you actually been on Apocalyptical Jess before today?
No, I galloped him a few times before the trials, and then Ricky obviously qualified him, and then I galloped him in between the trials and finals, and I've been getting to know the horse. He's a nice horse, class act.
Was there any point in the race where you thought you might not win it?
There to the end of the race, he was getting a little bit tired on me, and Danger was coming running, but I just kept task, and he stayed to it.
Very good. Well, congratulations to you on a huge win for your career. Robbins, Trey Wood, Blaine Wood, the whole team behind Apocalyptical Jess. It just continues to be the apocalypse here in Ruidoso.